What up and welcome back to Popular by Purpose. I am Miguel Gonzalez, also known as Miguel the Barber, and you're tuning in to another amazing episode. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you can always stay on time for everything we gotta drop.
What's good, man? Your boy Mo the Barber here. I'm giving out government names now. I tell you guys, Muhammad Al Jafari, also on Instagram, Show Sharp. What's good, man? Welcome back to another episode. Today's guy, I mean, you're probably clicking on this episode. He probably does your taxes. You know, I'm sure you know this guy. Maybe you know him from when he was assisting with, would you call it assistant, right?
Yeah.
He was assistant to Onwell. Done plenty of things, man. A great story. Guy from Orlando. Yeah. And I'm sure if this guy's been on your Instagram, because I've learned so much through taxes with this guy, and he's probably on your timeline smiling because this guy's always smiling right here. Striver, welcome to the building.
Appreciate y'all having me on.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can't believe you're here right now, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Believe it.
I got a funny little story because we just met recently, like 2 months
Crazy.
ago. Like we knew kind of.
Yeah, we've known each other for sure.
Yeah. So what threw me off was, so we met each other at Adrian. Shout out to Adrian. I think that was episode 3 at his Christmas party, and I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? I'm Mo." He was like, and we kind of had a moment like, "You know me? I know you." You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Oh, what's up, that? You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, "Bro, we're boys now." You know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of surprising. I was surprised that he knew me. He was surprised I knew him.
Yeah,
So
for sure. I mean, because
cool,
it's
man.
like, you know, it's kind of one of those Kodak moments, right? When it's like, again, you've been out here putting in work for a while. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like, it was just divine timing. I've been big on that. So it's like, when we seen each other and you came up to me, when I'm like, damn, he's, you know, when it's in the barber industry, you're one of the ones. You know what I mean? Just how in the tax industry, I'm one of the ones. It's like, it's just, you know, right? Real recognize real. When you came up to me like, yo, you strapped, like, oh, damn, we know damn, that's love. Let's do it. Rock and roll.
Honestly, not that I wasn't trying to come up to anybody, for me to come up to you, you know what I'm saying? I knew, you know, you're a humble dude. I knew all the things about you. I seen you on everybody that I'm cool with is Paige. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen you through everybody. Even in public, I seen you with some of my people. Dapped you up a few times, you know what I'm saying? Out, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But welcome.
Appreciate y'all again.
Appreciate you, bro. Seriously.
For real. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm sure you guys know it's tax season.
Yep.
This is the
Tax
busiest
season.
man in Orlando
Yes, sir.
right now.
Yes, sir.
It's that season. Let's
And
do it.
I really want to start. You from Orlando, right? You're born here?
Well, no, I was born in Puerto Rico. San Juan. Yes, I'm from San Juan, Puerto Rico. I moved to Orlando when I was like 7 years old. I've lived here ever since.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Grenadier, right? That's
For sure. Colonial, yeah. We still got the banner.
Yeah, fact.
We still got the banner in the gym. The only banner for district championship basketball, yeah.
And what brought you guys to America? Like, what was that?
I mean, honestly, we going back to Dukes. You know, shout out my mom. You know what I mean? One of the hardest working women I know. For those who do know her, that's a lean bed queen. You ever had a lean bed from my mom? You know that she'll take you back to the island for real. So I want to say when we moved back out here, I mean, from where she's from, where we're from in PR, obviously it's not, you know, the easiest growing up. You know, so she just wanted a better life for us, for myself and my sister. So. I remember like one of my aunts was the first one who moved over here, and then from there, like literally every 6 months another family member kept moving over here, you know, and then it was our turn, right? Nice. So it was funny because we just did Christmas at her house, at my aunt's house, and I haven't been there like years. It's been a long time, you know, just over the course of life. And just being in there, being with my cousins, you know, reconnecting with some of my cousins. Again, we grew up together. Just seeing the house, I'm like, damn, like we really grew up in this house, you know. And then my cousin made a comment. She was like, you know, this was the house where everybody started at. You know what I mean? From Puerto Rico, because remember, my aunt was the first one here. So literally every other 6 months, when one of our family members would come, they'll stay at my aunt's house, you know, get their stuff together, and then they'll go about their way. So it was a funny moment to, you know, just go back there and seeing, like, you know, that's where we grew up when we first started here in Orlando.
So how many people in that crib at one time?
Good amount, yeah. It was like at least, for sure, yeah. I remember at one time it was literally me, my mom, and my sister sleeping on one bed.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's up.
Yeah, humble time, humble beginnings for sure.
You know, he Puerto Rican too.
Yeah.
You full Puerto Rican?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Puerto Rico,
Boricua.
Boricua. Listen, real quick, for those who don't know, Orlando's huge. It's massive. You know, we got greater Orlando area as well, now included into that. So what part of Orlando were you raised?
East
To be
Orlando.
exact. East Orlando?
Yeah.
Okay.
All my life, literally. 436, 551.
Beautiful, love it.
Attended Colonial High School.
I know, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah,
letting
no,
them know,
for
you know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah, for those who don't know.
You played sports growing up?
Yeah,
Since you were
basketball my
little?
whole life.
Your whole life?
Yeah, I didn't start taking it serious till I want to say like 7th grade.
In Puerto Rico too, you play a little
Yeah,
bit?
well, yeah,
Okay.
for sure. But not like, again, it was just, I picked up a ball from, again, when I was a kid, and I never let it go. But I never really, like I took it serious, but it not like crazy serious where I'm like, oh, like this, I'm trying to go pro with this. I want to say like
yeah.
7th, 8th grade, that's when I really like, all right, like this is my passion, this is what I want to do. I'm all in.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah.
I remember being at like these gyms like LA and stuff, and we were hooping and at this point I was like a little bit older, like 19, and I would come in, like, you know, when you're a little bit older, you come in, you see like the young kids, and you don't want to really pick up young kids. He'd be the one you always pick up.
Oh,
You'd be like, hey, you running? He'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, come on, just get on the court.
Yeah.
So like occasionally you would snub the kids. They would come in and you'd be like, nah, you're not running with the adults. Like this one you'd be like, nah, he's playing. So he's always that. And then funny enough, it's like I didn't see him for a long time. He had like a baby face, and then I don't be on social media like that. One day I'm scrolling, and I'm like, yo, this is bro. Like, and then I'm going through his page, and I'm like liking all his things. Like, yo, he's going crazy.
It's crazy.
That's
He
dope.
says that about,
Yeah.
I used to always be around people that were older than me, literally since I was a kid, always. Yeah. Even when I would be around my sister and her friends, they were always older. In high school, I was always around the seniors. In 9th grade, I was playing JV basketball already. So after school, I'd ride the activity bus to main campus to be with all the seniors and juniors. So it was funny because I used to get picked up. I was definitely one of the ones to pick up because I'm gonna make sure we win. I was just always passionate about it. I'm passionate about anything that I do. Especially I learned that through basketball. I learned so many things in basketball that I didn't learn in school. You know what I mean? And I was just always so passionate about basketball. So when you pick me up, I'm gonna give you my all. Defense, offense, whatever it is, I want to win. I'm a competitor, you know what I mean? So I want to win. I hate losing. So yeah.
That's cool. So you said when it came to senior year and stuff, was it kind of just like you knew it was like your last year going on? You weren't trying to take it to the college, right?
I mean, I think that's when reality set in. I wasn't 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a couple, Division III colleges kind of looking at me and so forth, but at that time, just, life took a turn in a sense. My focus shift, my mindset shift. So, like basketball really, of course, I loved basketball, but it just wasn't like,
not going to the league.
I'm not going to the league, you know what I mean? So it was just more so playing it because I love it. So I want to say like I jumped into the reality world like junior year of high school. Cool. That's when I really started seeing like, the school, it's not for me. I know I'm not going to go to college. Let me figure out what I'm going to do because, I did not like school. If it wasn't for basketball, honestly, I honestly would have dropped out.
Okay.
Basketball really saved me.
Did you have both of your parents involved in your life growing up?
No. I was raised just by my mom.
Awesome.
Single mother.
We're mama boys, so
Right.
Yeah,
It's
she
good. Did an amazing
Shout out
job.
mama,
You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot. Of course, growing up with a single mother, that when you don't have a father present, of course, there's those things that you need from having a father figure in your life. But I also learned so much just being in a household with women. You know what I mean? But again, God does everything for a reason, right? In 6th grade, that's when I met literally one of my brothers, my best friend. That again, he's like literally my brother, Romello, where he lives in a household of 2 parents, right? Military background as well. His father was in the military in the Air Force for 20 years, right? So you already know that, at that time, I knew that, and it took me a while to learn, obviously, throughout, because, when you're a kid, you're not really thinking about certain things, But when I started thinking about life and I started taking life seriously, I then grew to learn that, God placed them in my life to teach me structure, to teach me discipline, because I didn't have that growing up through my mom. As much as my mom was trying to teach me those type of things, again, just
being a single mom, it's easy.
I agree. It's hard.
It was so much. So it's like, that's why I value that family so much. That's like my second family for real. You know what I mean? All holidays and stuff. That's why, I'm literally in 2 households. First, I'm with my mom and my sister, and then I go, to his house. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, I'm eating 2 times. I'm eating, like I said, Puerto Rican food during the day, and I'm eating that soul food at night.
Oh, that's what you talking about before the show. Okay, I was
it,
wondering when you was talking about the soul food.
Yeah, I
I
get the best. Yeah, I get the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Melo is Mike's client.
No, I know it is,
Okay.
yeah. Hey, listen.
brother.
Melo was a dog on the court.
Oh yeah, to this
Dog,
day.
that's
MVP.
how
I still see it, yeah.
any
I
local
still see it.
hooper, you knew him like, he's crazy.
You see how he said you would pick me up as the younger kids. You definitely want to pick him up. Yeah, he's number one
Yeah,
pick.
he might not
always.
even been there. Sometimes he's running so many AAU camps and
Nah,
like, you
yeah,
wouldn't
for
even
sure.
see him. He might
I
be
mean,
just doing drills and leaving.
Yeah, look, even
It's
growing
crazy.
up, like, man, I looked up to Romello just because, like I stated, this is somebody who lived in a household that was so structured. That's why he's so successful now, right? He's been successful his whole life from academics. This is somebody who literally was getting straight A's, AP classes. We in high school, he's taking college classes. This is somebody who couldn't come home with B's. If he came home with B's, he'd get grounded. Mind you, I'm sitting on the stairs looking at my progress report. My report could like
2.0.
2.5. I got 2.8. I got the bare minimum to be able to play. I could play, basketball.
I'm gonna pause this real quick to say this. It is so dope to hear this because you don't realize how even you giving your child structure can help someone else's child.
For sure.
Yeah.
You don't even realize you're not just impacting your child's life, you're impacting other children that want to be a part of that child's life.
For
You get what I'm
sure.
saying? That's incredible.
And growing
Shout
up,
out his parents, man.
Nah,
for
yeah,
real.
for
That's
sure.
incredible.
Hell yeah. I mean, growing up, just seeing that, like, at the time, you're a kid, your focus is totally different, so you're not really thinking about those type of things. At that time, I'm like, damn, Mom, like, why you going so in on them? But then, again, graduating high school, going into the real world, he was able to transition so easy because he already had structure, he already had discipline. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's been, again, successful at anything he does from, again, in high school when he went. Like, man, the man got a scholarship just off the academics. Again, he got of course, his skill set was at the level where that played a part too, but he dealt with an injury his senior year. Literally, our senior year, mind you, we're coming off a championship run where we won Colonial's first ever district championship in the history.
Sick.
You know what I'm saying?
Sick.
And we university. Yeah, right. So coming off that run, 2012, and then now we're going into our senior year in 2013. I mean, he had Division I colleges coming to our practices, man. He was about to bring so much spotlight to our school. And the last practice before our first game, he went up for a dunk during a scrimmage and tore his ACL. Out for the senior year, out for the season. So it's like, mind you, me and him are the captains. I'm letting him. The vision was you lead. I'm number 2. You feel me? So I'm the shooting guard. That's what I did. So I could play the point. You know what I mean? But my skill set was shooter, defense. You know what I mean? And energy.
Score. Yeah.
So I'm letting him, like, he was supposed to average 25 and 10 all day, and then I was supposed to average my little 18, 20, little 5, whatever. But when he got injured, at that time I wasn't really ready to lead. Again, this is somebody who has been successful. He's been played at the high level individual of AAU. You know what I'm saying? He was playing. I remember I got on his AAU team just off his face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm always around. And then the coaches also fell in love with my work ethic. So that's why I was even allowed and got an opportunity to be on lead. I never played unless we're blowing the team out by like 30. But when I got in the game, I'm sitting there 5'8", point guard 6'4". So, and I say all this because, again, at that time, he's already been playing at such a high level. So when it came to leadership, we could rely on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At that time, I wasn't really ready for that. I was ready to, get led by him. So it was a tough transition. Like, the season didn't really go as expected. Mind you, coming off a championship run, we had high expectations. So that following season, we didn't really do well. I hooped certain games and stuff, but it was a lot of pressure on me because now it's like, okay, you're the number 2. It's time for you to step up. Yeah. And then when I didn't deliver in certain games and everything like that, of course I'll be disappointed in myself, and I'm, just like, damn, because I wanted to like fill his shoes, but I couldn't at the time because it's like, he already know where his skill set is at, So.
Sometimes you gotta know when to lead and when to follow. You know
Nah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure, all
You
day.
just got thrown in the fire.
Nah, for sure.
Did
At that
you,
time, I wasn't ready, and you just gotta know.
Did you, while you were in high school, did you like, I know, I just asked because a lot of people in this side of town have had to have work 2 jobs and go to school, whatever. Did you have any jobs or anything that you did while you were at school, or just focus full time in the job?
So I mean, at that time, because like I said, we come from humble beginnings, and you know, just how life turned out. At that time, you know, my mom, she had got a disability, so she wasn't able to work. So of course, she was collecting, you know, government assistance. You know, she was getting assistance from the government, and at the time, she would get a check from me. So if I worked, they would take that away. So it was more so like one of those things where it's like, hey, look, don't work, I got you. I'm like, all right, bet, I'll get my little monthly check from mom's, and then I'll let her, you know, collect the rest for whatever she needed. So I never really worked throughout high school, but of course, once high school finished, you know, that was obviously like, it's the real world, it's time to get a job, you know, so.
What was the job?
Under Armour Orlando, that was my first job ever.
Under Armour?
Yeah,
Oh,
on
really?
International Drive, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
So
I was selling shoes in the shoe department. So
Yeah.
it was like half sales, half like, you know, like hourly, like, you know, cash register. You pretty much did everything. But I mean, even that job, like, that taught me so much just because the manager at the time, he was so big on like communication, whether you were you have the greeter, he was always, you know, ensuring that we would greet every single person and be vocal. And at the time, again, you know, fresh out of high school, you feel uncomfortable being, hey, welcome to Under Armour, you know what I mean? But
grown men walking in.
right, you know, but I mean, if I go back, and I learned quickly, you know, I always had that hustler mentality. So, and I knew that when I got in that job, like when I'm in that position and just started seeing how everything was, I'm like, man, there's something that's gonna come out of this, you know, just a skill set. I started learning about skill sets early on, you know what I mean? So just even being there, like I would take pride in that. Like I'm like, yo, nobody wanted to do it. You know, during the shifts, you know, we'll have like pre-work shifts. He'll ask like, oh, who wants to? Hey, put me on it. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because I'm cool with it. You know, because I wanted to try something new, and I knew that going into sales, you have to be able to speak. You know what I mean? Like that's huge. That's big. So then when I went to the shoe department, mind you, we never got paid commissions for shoes, but I'm selling more shoes than anybody in the store, and that started from just me learning how to greet people, just getting out of the fear of looking dumb by just saying something. You know, just vocalizing, you know, your voice, you know. So I did learn a lot from that job. That's crazy. That was my first job ever.
Yes.
Shout out Under Armour. That's what started everything.
That's crazy. I'm just thinking because I was the opposite. I was the type of kid like I was too cool to like volunteer. I was too cool to just, you know, what I mean? I let everybody just let that guy go ahead, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. You know, go look stupid to me. You know what I mean? And it's crazy how that little decisions like that in the beginning of your life can elevate you to, you know, where you're at today.
It's just a mindset thing, you know. That's all it really comes to, just the mindset, you know. And at that time, I was already, like I said, I hit the ground, you know, my senior year. I knew school wasn't for me, so I just kind of already like, I feel like it's in you. It's either in you or it's not, you know. So I always felt like I was one of those ones that I'm just not really scared to do anything. I'm not scared I don't bite my tongue, you know what I mean? So it's like, when it translated to the business side of things, it's like, oh, yeah, that, you know, just going through that and being outspoken. You know, I used to get, you know, at school, you get in trouble for being outspoken in school. You get ISS, all that, you know.
I was going to ask you if you were a troublemaker.
Hey, man, luckily, again, I played sports in high school. That came into a favor with the deans and everything, you know. They definitely, you know, had some favoritism towards us. They definitely saved us a little bit, but yeah, I used to get in trouble a lot in school, you know, because just being.
You know, I gotta say that it's so hard when I see people that are so successful. You, me, him, plenty of people that just got in trouble in school, and it's because I'm not a fan of traditional education. Let's start off there. Like, I think it's important, like you said, when you know, hey, this is not for me, because traditional education is, we're gonna go to college, and it's like, really, you're putting these kids in these boxes they're not ready for.
Sure.
Right? It's like you're educating yourself every day. When you do your tax things and you're posting things about your taxes, and we're gonna get to that, but I watch it, people watch it, we're learning, he's teaching. So it's like, obviously you learn this somewhere, right? So it's education. But traditional education, they try to put you in, I'm not a fan of that. And then you get in trouble for being a leader.
No,
because
for
they
sure.
like, you have to learn math this way. And God forbid you don't want to learn it that way, because there's a million ways to learn math, but it's only taught 3 different ways in school. So what does that lead to, right? That leads to
Right.
you getting in trouble.
No, for
because
sure.
it wasn't the way she wants to grade the paper.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It wasn't that, and it sucks because when we say it always like, oh, we used to get in trouble. but really, no offense, like some of these teachers just failed at their careers and were stuck to be math teachers.
I mean,
You
yeah.
know, no offense, like they went to school to
He's
be
just a kid, though.
to be an accountant and they failed and now they're a math teacher and they're mad at you every day and you're like, yo, I'm just a kid, I'm trying to play basketball, right?
I remember my math teacher told me I wasn't gonna be nothing. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't wishing no bad on nobody, but it's crazy how life turned out. But it's like, sheesh, she could probably work for me.
That's funny. I just remembered my senior year, my English teacher, she made me write a note to myself a year from today. And I remember I wrote like, I want to be a barber, this, that,
Fire.
this, that. Yeah. And she sent it to you a year after. You get your address and they send you the letter. I still have the letter. And I remember she hated me, bro. Miss Key, dog. She hated me, bro. And I remember she literally, in front of the whole class, like made fun of me. Like, this guy, oh, he cut your hair right. He's too stupid to be, like, go through school and become a barber, da-da-da-da. And now I'm like,
I mean, look, you just gotta,
And
that's why you can never count nobody out.
Nah, and
I was a class clown.
no, but I was gonna say at the same time, like,
Yeah, me too.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I was the same way. I used to make jokes all the time, but the thing is, I had good grades. So like, I would get in trouble. They'd be like, Miguel, go to the office, and then I would get there, and it's like I have all A's. Like, yeah, I'd be like, you can call my mom if you want. Mom's gonna be like, okay,
Hey, what do you call it?
how's his grades? Straight A's? I click. I gotta go back to work. Like, mom had 2 jobs. She's like, I'm between jobs. I don't got time.
Yeah.
Click. So, anyways, I was gonna say, sometimes these teachers, they're not bad people, bro. They're just in a position, they're unhappy. And I can always see you're very, very happy. You're always smiling, bro, which I want to get into that. Did you learn some of these, like what taught you to keep so much joy in your life? Was it your mom, subconsciously maybe? Or, because I always see you smile. Not to say you don't have struggle in your life.
No, for
But you have a
sure.
positive attitude. That's what keeps you success in your life.
I think
That's good, bro.
that's
That's good.
it's
good energy, bro, to be around.
for sure. And I mean, even you just saying that, right? Having that good energy to be around. Nobody want to, be in a place where it's like, it's just bad energy. You see somebody, and you see it every day, Y'all running a barbershop. You see it every day. You see when people come in here, you could kind of read the room and see like, yeah, he going through it. Or like, even if he's not, it's just like, just the energy. Everybody's different, I think mine just more so, I think it just came from just, like I said, growing up, having, again, even though I wasn't in a household of 2 parents, my mom was a woman of faith, she was always speaking life into us as well. She always wanted the best for us as well, And I think also just going through life, going through just the trials and tribulations, just the lessons that you get from going through those, the down, just going through all the failures or just struggles, just circumstances, whatever. I think it's just the mindset. It really just comes down to
Did you grow up going to church or something like that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my mom was a woman of faith. So
Like every Sunday, one of those
I
Puerto
used to
Rican
get grounded if I
Puerto
ain't go to
Rican
church. Shout out Deuce.
That same way, as I was
now
asking,
it's
yeah.
like, as you grow into becoming a man, you start seeing that. Like you start like, okay, like you really see, again, now, like where I told y'all, growing up, I didn't understand the whole structure of Romello and like his parents, why they were so strict and everything. And it's the same thing now when I hit the real world. I understood why it was so important, my mom bringing us to church every Sunday, regardless of anything, is just having that faith installed in you. It's important.
It's important,
especially nowadays, like, I mean, the real world is tough, that's why they say only the strong survive, right? I mean, you gotta be strong out here. You gotta be mentally strong. And sometimes, depending on your circumstance, you can't just do it alone. You gotta, tap into that higher self and whatever you believe in, you know what I mean? Aside of religion, just your higher self, and know that there's something bigger than you. And to know that as long as, you stay faithful, live in obedience, do the best that you can to live in obedience because, we're human, we're gonna make mistakes every single day. But just try your best to keep that positive mindset and that positive attitude. Again, attitude is everything. How you do something is how everything turns out. What you think about the most is what ends up happening. So it's like, if you have problems in your life and you keep thinking about the problems and you don't think about the solutions, what do you think is going to continue to happen in your life? Nothing but problems are going to keep coming, So I think I was just always, and it's crazy because now it translates to business. I'm in an industry where I'm constantly solving problems. I'm dealing with problems. You know what I mean? So growing up on the personal side, it's like, again, if you only focus on that, nothing good is going to come out of that. But if you give yourself the opportunity to at least focus on good, then eventually something good will come out of that because what you're focused on mentally is on what's positive and what the possibility of what could happen versus some and most people, depending on what industry or who you are, they don't always have that mindset to be able to, get themselves out of that place. And again, I mean, that's why living in faith is truly, truly important. I know y'all are men of faith as well,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because it's tough out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's super tough.
The best thing is when you see somebody start focusing on their faith and their life starts changing for the better. That's how powerful
Amen.
God is, bro.
No, for sure.
Literally, you see your boy and you just tell him, hey, man, you don't have to go to church, just open the Bible, open
No, for
whatever
sure,
you believe in.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For
and
sure.
they start doing that, and then you see the flowers start growing on them. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You just start seeing them.
It's the energy,
Yeah.
Because once you start shifting your mindset, your energy changes. And that comes from, again, focus. Your focus starts changing.
Yeah.
So when you start focusing on different things and you're seeking, to be better, right? In any shape, way, or form. When you're seeking to evolve yourself, to become a better person, a better businessman, a better partner, brother, friend, when you start seeking, what they say, what you seek, you shall find, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, in those moments, is that's where it's like, while you're trying to seek for those things, that's where the trials come too. Because that's, God's gonna test you to see, okay, you want this? Like, let's see how bad you really want this. Because if it's easy, anybody could do it, right? So that's when the trials will come, but that's where the faith comes in. But they also say what? Faith without work is dead. You can't just, I'm faithful, or like just, pray and not put in the work. You gotta meet God halfway in order for, those things to happen. So it's like, I feel like that's where it comes from, just being able to shift your mindset. You gotta have the mindset, you gotta be willing to shift your mindset and keep your mind open for the possibilities for things to happen.
So I wanna get back. I wanna really find out how you got to where you are today, right? So from Under Armour, what happened? How long were you there? And yeah, tell us the story, man.
From Under Armour to today, damn, we going back.
Yeah.
Under Armour, that's 2013, fresh out of high school, right? So from Under Armour, like I said, that's when I learned sales. That's when I knew sales was the game for me, right? From there, that's when I opened my mindset to the possibilities of what could happen, right? And I knew that I had to change my surroundings in order to get to where I wanted. Sales taught me that, again, in the sales industry, anybody who's in sales, no matter what industry you're in, the sales industry is the one industry that your income is not limited because you're paid based off of your production. Versus if you're just going to a salary job, you can be working harder than Miguel, but your paychecks are gonna still be the same. You know what I mean? Versus in sales, if I, go in and I work 50 more hours than Miguel and I produce more sales than Miguel because of those hours that I'm in the field, ripping and running, hey, my paycheck is gonna, show a difference, right? So that's where I was able to, just meet the right individuals. I started getting out there, I joined a network marketing company that had a multi-level marketing aspect of it. And around that time, it's a funny story because the name of the company was called Wake Up Now, right? And at that time, they were like a lifestyle company. So they were selling like lifestyle products and things of that nature. But again, they have a multi-level marketing aspect of the company where you can recruit other agents to do the exact same thing. And again, the name of the company, Wake Up Now. When we joined, shout out my brother Mo, Motivation, Maverick, is only Maverick now, right? He went to Colonial also. We was always tight. And I just started seeing his lifestyle change. You know, I just, not necessarily financially more so, but just the individuals he was surrounding himself, the way he was speaking, making videos. And I'm like, damn, like, I want to be a part of that. Like, that's like, I just gravitated towards that energy. I'm like, yo, bro, like, I want in. Whatever we got to do, like, let me know. And so when I joined, I clearly remember, man, we would literally have meetings and it would be nothing about the company, but more so about mindset and about motivation. You know, just like literally sitting down, writing down our goals. Mind you, 2021 at this time. Yeah. This is 2014. You know what I mean? We're sitting down having meetings about mindset, motivation. We sitting there watching motivation videos. At that time, it was tough. You know, a lot of people weren't woke yet. You know, so again, the name of the company was Wake Up Now. We took it as Wake Up Now. Like, so when I'm sitting there making videos at that time, telling people, yo, wake up. It's time for you to wake up. If you know you're not gonna go to college, if you know, even if you're gonna go to college, a lot of times people go to college for 4 years, they come home and they go work a whole job that they didn't even go to college for. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we're telling people, yo, wake up. It's time for you to strive. That's where the name Striver got birthed in 2014. It's time for you to start striving for what you believe in, you know, and no matter what it is. At that time, that's when my faith and my belief of trying to become a professional basketball player came back alive. I used to make videos literally training at 5 o'clock in the morning, giving motivational tips, just putting the work in because I wanted, like, at that time, look how God works. I used to play ball at Econ Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and around that time, I met an individual who had just came back from playing overseas. That was the first time he got his first contract. He was 29 years old, got his first contract overseas. Mind you, I'm thinking the only way that you can go overseas is fresh out of high school if you go to college. So the man did not go to college, you know? So it's like, oh, the light bulb came on. I'm like, oh, it's up. Yeah. Because I know my work ethic. You know, I know I'm willing to put my all into something when I want. Whatever I want, I'm gonna put my all to get it. So at that time, that's when the belief of becoming a professional basketball player, like, birthed back alive. Outside, you know, back from high school, remember in high school, I hung it up, right? Yeah. I hung up the shoes, the laces. I'm thinking, all right, basketball's done. But then when life came and I started seeing, like, I started taking life serious and I woke up and I started believing in myself. That's the biggest thing you could do is believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will, right? So when I started believing in myself and I started realizing, I'm like, yo, you could really do whatever you put your mind to, as long as you strive for it, right? And you do it in a fearless way. That's where at the time the brand Fearless Striver got birthed. That's where the name Striver got birthed. Yeah. That was literally my first tattoos, Fearless Striver. That was the first tattoos I ever had. And it just represented, again, striving for whatever it is that you believe in a fearless manner. Because most times people don't go after something because of fear, whether it's fear of failure, whether it's fear of, you know, just having somebody, you know, make fun of them because they're doing something different.
Your friends, sometimes you're free, your friends gonna say something.
I can't tell you how many times people around that time, because their mindset wasn't where they might be at now, they weren't woke mentally, so they used to sit down and make fun of me. You know, me sitting there making videos, trying to motivate people to go and chase their dreams, I used to get made fun of, you know, but of course at that time, because those were people that I used to call friends, it hurt, of course, you know. I'm like, damn, like, I'm sitting here trying to get it, and y'all sitting here laughing at me. But when I finally, like, grew, you know, mentally and emotionally, and I started maturing, as time went on, it hit me. I'm like, damn, they just didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't understand it, so I kind of stopped holding, you know, just that animosity within that was built up from the time being, where it's like, man, like, you laughed at me, man, go somewhere. But when I matured, I realized, I'm like, damn, I feel bad because you just didn't understand it. Therefore, that's why you didn't wake up. And that's why your life look at the direction that your life went in, look at the direction where mine came in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I may not be where I want to be, but again, from now to back then, 10 years, you know, I've been doing this 10 years, whether, you know, as far as entrepreneurship and even in the tax, in the tax industry, that's how even the tax industry, how I even jumped into the tax industry, where I opened my mindset, I started hanging around the right individuals, then I met a person that, you know, introduced the tax game to me, and then from there it was a no-brainer, because at that time, like I said, I didn't want to go to college. So when I seen that I didn't necessarily have to go to college to do this, I'm like, oh. And then I seen the possibilities as far as the amount of money that you could make in a short amount of time. That's what I fell in love with. At that time, I woke up mentally where I'm like, oh, it's up. I'm like, okay, bet. I can make somebody's yearly salary in 90 days, 120 days, and then not work the rest of work the rest of the year. And I don't gotta go to college. What do I gotta do? Sign me up, right? Because at that time I had nothing else. Not that I would say I didn't have nothing else to live for, but again, I knew I wasn't going to go to college. And then around that time, I knew that even though I was so focused on becoming a professional basketball player, I knew that was going to take time. And at that time, you know, again, we're in the real world. I'm 20, 21 years old. I needed funds to live and survive. So when I jumped into the tax industry in 2014, 2015, that's when everything started, you know. And around that time, like I said, even when I jumped into the tax game, like, again, the same people, like, you doing taxes?
Yeah.
You know, mind you, I went on a podcast last year. That video went viral. Like, when I was literally saying, like, yo, you know, back then in 2015, people would be like, yo, you do taxes? Everybody does taxes, and you're not gonna be successful on that because everybody's already doing it. We're in 2025. Everybody does taxes, right? It's like, you know, we're in a saturated industry, but why, right? Why is it so saturated? Right? It's the same thing with becoming a barber, right? Why is being a barber so saturated?
It is.
Because it's very lucrative, right? It's a need. If you're a man, you know you need a haircut. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you're in the real world and you have a job, again, we live in the United States. They make money off taxes. So you need to file your taxes, right? So it's such a lucrative business because it's a need. You know, the pandemic hit 2020. You know, when COVID hit in 2020, that's what birthed a lot of entrepreneurs because people started, again, those same people that might have that hadn't woke up back then, they woke up during COVID because they realized what? I can't just focus on just this regular 9 to 5. Not saying that a 9 to 5 is bad to have, but you see a lot of people lost their jobs or a lot of people got their hours cut, right? Unless you worked in one of those needed-based businesses where no matter what, you know, through COVID.
And a lot of them, my wife's a nurse, and
that's
a lot of them, they got overworked during that time, and a lot of them don't like that career no more.
For sure.
Like they, you know, but it became a whole situation.
You got to think about it. They was working like 100 hours a week in a sense because of how big it was at that time.
And because they were getting paid, a lot of them were getting paid a lot of extra, double, triple, you know, overtime. They would just go work extra hours. They burned themselves out. So it's true what you say. You made this in 90 days. When you started this company, did you start by yourself? Did you have like a mentor? Like how long before you had your own company?
So I started in 2015. Okay. I want to say I was a regular agent for about 5 years. Okay. Yeah, and then in 2019, that's when I opened up my company. So I opened up the company, One Stop Consulting. I had a business partner at the time. His name is Jonathan. You know, he was definitely one of the mentors that I had because again, we jumped into the industry around the same time, but he jumped into it as an owner. I jumped in as an agent. You know, we knew each other just because his younger brother, we went to school together. But at the time, since he already was 5 years in as an owner, and again, I was 5 years in as an agent, and then I just seen where he was able to take the business to. I just wanted to win. You know what I mean? I've always had that mentality and that mindset. I just want to win no matter what. I always knew how to play my role. I learned that through basketball. In basketball, there were times in teams where I was the star player, and then there was, you know, if I'm on the court with Romello or one of my other, you know, individuals that play at a high level, I know, I bet I could just chill, sit in the corner, wait for them to pass me the ball, and I'm gonna hit my three. You know, like I always knew how to play my role, and I always knew how to adjust. And I think that's very important for you to learn in your life, to learn how to adjust, because when you're able to make those adjustments and know your role and know how to, like, you know, just know when it's your turn, so many doors will open up for you, because when it's time to pick that person, you're always going to be the first person. Oh yeah, let's get Strive. Like you're going to play his role, So around that time, I just wanted to win. So because he already started having the results, I mean, you already know, we live in a society and in a generation where results are the only thing that matters, right? That's the only thing. You could be grinding, going all in. People will either support or they'll act like they're supporting until you show results. Once you show results, what they say, people act like they've been supporting the whole time.
Oh yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
but
bro.
you have to be able to show those results.
Yeah.
So at that time, I just wanted results. I knew he kind of already had a system in place because of, again, we already had a relationship. So he would, feed me in on some of the plans and some of the visions that he had. So he definitely was a good mentor to have. And I think in any business that you're in, you always want to pick up a mentor. Right? Even from 2015, I had a mentor, whether it was somebody that I physically had access to or somebody that I just aspired to be from. I mean, at that time, I used to look a lot of videos, Tyrese. I used to look at a lot of videos like Les Brown, Eric Thomas especially. That was definitely one of my mentors growing up, just because of the motivation. He would obviously install that mentality of just that, like you gotta go get it. If you don't want it, what did he become, famous for as far as one of the best motivational speakers? If you don't, you want success as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful, right? So it's like the concept behind that, you know what I mean, is what goes into it plays a factor in a lot of things. But as far as that, when I started the company, 2019, that's when everything started as far as on the ownership side. So from there, I think like 2 years in, that's when I ended up merging the company, because I got the opportunity, I got the phone call, and again, that just goes through what? Put it into work. Once they started seeing the work that I was putting in, I got the phone call to go work with Anuel, which I've already had a previous relationship with him since 2014, before he was famous. I got the phone call, for the opportunity to go work with him directly as his assistant. And again, it was a no-brainer, at the same time, that was something that I used to, when he got incarcerated, before he, got to the level where he's at, and he got incarcerated, I used to always preach like, yo, when he come home, it's over. We gotta take over.
It's funny, when I used to cut hair at First Image, Rob, Rob G's, I think I can say his name. Rob G's, he used to get a haircut with Frankie the barber. And Anuel would be in there, but he was young, like, I don't know, maybe fresh from Puerto Rico, like 15, 14. And he'd be like, I'm doing music. And you would hear people almost kind of like cook on him, like, don't do that. And then Rob would always support him. He was one of those friends that was like, nah, he gonna go crazy with this. And I remember like seeing him as like a kid coming in at the shop, because I was like 19 in the shop, 17 already cutting hair as a senior year, but I was already like 19 in the barbershop cutting hair, and I would see this 15-year-old come in, and he was like, yo, I'm doing music. I'm doing trap, I'm doing this. And we would hear some of his like young stuff, because it was SoundCloud at the time.
Oh yeah,
and you would hear some of this stuff and be like, yo, it kind of slaps. And some old heads, like always like a 30, like, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, of course.
And Rob would get hot and be like, nah.
Because you got to think about it like this. It goes to the same thing as that I was saying about the individuals, that I was surrounded with around the time, high school-wise, they just didn't understand.
They don't understand.
Around the time in the music industry, there was no Latin trap.
No.
You know what I mean?
He took off.
Anuel was one of the ones who birthed that. He'll tell you, he has interviews where he literally says he was a mixture of Young Thug, Drake, Future. If you go back to his SoundCloud, Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
If you go back to his SoundCloud, a lot of his first, his early on songs was him remixing some of these, a track by Young Thug. He remixed that song. He used to remix the English trap songs, but in Spanish. So around that time, again, it's something that's new. When it's something that's new and it does not have results, it's harder for people to gravitate to it.
And think about like old, I say this in the nicest way. Think about the old like Team Jordan all red outfits that those old Puerto Rican like old heads playing some side with all red with a red Team Jordans. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
they didn't understand that like this is the future. More of the story I was gonna say is that sometimes you gotta be like, I believe in myself, and I don't care if you believe, you don't believe, this is where I'm gonna go.
Oh, yeah,
And then
for
it's just obviously in your path, in my path, in your path, and Anuel's path, it goes. You get what I'm saying?
He was locked in since, even from when he moved over here in 2013. That's when he got signed to Spiff. He lived out here for like a year and a half. It was a short time that he lived out here, but I mean, he was always just he was locked in. Like you couldn't tell him no when it came to the music. Like he knew, he believed in himself. He knew he was gonna blow. Of course, life happens. Again, he got incarcerated, but again, look what happened. Even through him being incarcerated, through that time, he was still dropping music from inside. He was still, the brand was still getting bigger, so that by the time he came home, his first day, he dropped his album. It went #1 on Apple Music and Spotify. So it's like, and even around that time, like I said, I used to always say that when he came home, it was go time, So when that time happened, and again, go time happened, and he just started becoming one of the biggest artists out here in the world, It's like it transpired to where we're at now, right? Where 2 years into my company, I'm growing. We got to that 6-figure level where, again, that's what I always used to dream to be at, right? Like when I jumped into entrepreneurship, I used to be in network marketing companies. I used to go to all the network meetings and all the network events, seeing all the 6- and 7-figure earners. And I'm like, man, I can't wait till I get there one day, right? And, just having that faith, like we spoke, knowing that I knew I was going to get there, it's just a matter of time. But most people won't have that faith because they don't believe in themselves. But I believed in myself so much that I'm like, man, I'm going to have the faith and I'm going to just keep working and I'm going to just see where this goes. And look what happened. You know what I mean? Yeah. I manifested pretty much everything that's happened because I was open about it. I was speaking it into existence from an early age. And I stayed faith. I kept my faith, So 2 years into running the show, I got the opportunity, to work with him. And it was a no-brainer. So, I merged the company. From there, again, look what happened. The brand got bigger because I was around one of the biggest artists in the world, where I was literally able to, and I had the opportunity to go on 3 tours with him, where it was crazy, just that experience, being able to travel to, Europe, being able to travel to South America, just seeing the different cultures in Europe, seeing the different cultures in South America, seeing how the fans out there, it's crazy, man, the way that the overseas fans treat artists is a whole different ballgame, you know what I mean? So that was a blessing because it's like, regardless of the pros and the cons that comes with that industry, just being there for that 1.5, 2 years, it elevated not only my brand, just being around, but also my mindset, because it taught me how to have tough skin. Because again, to be in that limelight and being there with the pressure and the schedule, his schedule was crazy, you know what I mean? So it's like just having that tough skin to be able to, again, and I'm in business, so it's like everything just translated so well, so that when I came back from working with him, because the business started growing, my partners that, my leaders who are my partners now, Romello and Marco, as they started growing, when I came back and I realized, I'm like, man, I learned a lot from that, and it's something that I thought I wanted to do, but then when I got there, it was like, it's great, this was like a dream job in a sense, but in a sense, when I got there, I realized, I'm like, man, I know I'm meant for more. When I say I'm meant for more, it's like, I knew from day one, from jumping out of high school, like I knew I was meant to be a boss, a leader, But again, when we spoke earlier, sometimes you need to learn how to play your role. You need to be and learn how to be a good follower before you become a good leader.
A good listener too.
And a good listener before you're able to speak and have people listen to you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go through all those things, you know what I mean? And then when I finally got to see it at the highest level, you got to think about it. I was number 2 to one of the biggest artists in the world. I was able to see the in and out operations of a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? That changed the whole game for me, because I took it, and mind you, I'm already open-minded. I'm already open to the possibilities of what could happen in life. And then now I'm getting to see it at the highest level. The brand's been growing. I couldn't be more grateful for just having that opportunity. I've said it before, I'll always say it. That's my brother for life. And then look where we're at now, you know, where it's like even just being there, right? It elevated the brand where people would want to do business with me. There's so many clients that I have that literally would tell me on the phone, listen, man, I'll be honest with you. I just wanted to be able to say, Anuel's friend did my taxes. Hey, and I took it for what it was. You know, some people would have that pride to be like, I want to be known for my, you know, but it's like, again, it's fam. You know what I mean? So it's like, because it's fam, that's the brand. Like, you know, I got it on my skin before, you know what I mean, before anything. So it's like, it's like, man, this is me no matter what. Like, this is all part of my journey. It's all part of like who I'm going to become, who I am and who I'm going to become. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, even now, you know, we're in 2024, 2025. When I came back, the business obviously kept growing. Now we obviously departed and took back ownership of the company. We're now my leaders at the time, who were my agents, who I obviously brought up under me and I've developed as far as like Marco, Romello. Now they're my partners. And these are people and individuals who I grew up with. I know Marco 23 years. I've known Romello since 6th grade. It's about 18 years. You know what I mean? And now, you know, we're running a business together at a high level, you know? So it's like, I had to learn all those things. I had to go through all those things to be able to lead the show now, but also have, you know, good and like-minded individuals, people that I could trust around me. So it's like, okay, I don't necessarily have to do everything myself. You know, it's okay to go with the right people. What they say is not lonely at the top of what? If you take your people with you. So I've been doing that since day one, man. I've been showing love since day one, when it wasn't even cool to show love, you know what I mean? I've been supported people. That's the thing too. It's like when we talked about it earlier, about not counting people out, about the teachers counting us out, and look where we're at now. Can never count nobody out, man, because you don't never know what that person might become when they have that mentality and that mind shift. When they tap into that power within, we're all powerful beyond measure. Coach Carter, go look at that movie. You know what I mean? When that scene in the gym of the Hispanic kid who was he was in the streets doing all type of bad stuff, and then when he finally decided to, you know, like lock in with the coach and listen to Coach Carter, what happened? He came in the gym. He quit at first. He came back in the gym. You know what I'm saying? He apologized. He owned up to his actions, and he told him, look, I'm ready for whatever. The coach made him do like 500 push-ups right there and then. But then what happened in the next scene? They went to the game, and he was literally the reason they won the next game. And what's the thing? What is the literally they have a whole what is it called? They have a whole video about him. You know, just that scene of him saying we're all powerful beyond measure. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has that power within, but once you tap into that power, it's a whole different level, because the focus gets different. And again, that's why you can never count nobody out. So, I mean, even now, again, we're in 2025, the business has grown to the level where, I mean, we're doing hundreds of clients every single season now, you know what I mean? And now it's like, look what happened, me coming back from Anuel, from that, you know, doing those tours, people seeing what I was doing. Now people seeing and tapping in, now they want to do business. And I'm cool, and hey, that's what comes with it, you know, because now I'm showing the results. And then look, now we're now in 2025. Now I'm working directly with one of the biggest YouTubers in the industry. You know what I mean? Shout out the Trench family, JP. You know what I mean? Where it's like that came from that, you know? Literally, that came from that. Him seeing me working with Anuel directly. And as he's growing his brand, now he's seeing, oh, damn, you know, yo, he knew he was about to move back over here. I moved back over here. He's like, yo, when I come back, let's figure out a way to work. I'm like, look, whenever you let me know. I told him first day he came out here for like a week, and I told him, I said, yo, when you get here, whatever you need, I got you. Because again, I'm on working for Anuel. I learned the assistant role, you know, and that happened for a reason, because I knew that one day I'll get in a position where I'll have my own assistants. You know what I mean? In the business that I'm in, I have assistants doing things for me, and to delegate. You know, you can't do everything on your own. You can, but how do you move faster? How do you
can't grow that way?
Right, you can't grow at the level you want to grow when you're doing everything.
You can grow that way, but it would take so much longer.
Yeah, exactly. I want to win. All I care about is winning. I don't care what we have to do to get there.
I was gonna say, to add on to this, for me personally, just hearing everything and taking it all in, I feel like you've learned so much from sports, from your mom being present, still telling you, hey, focus on, without you realizing her telling you, hey, focus on sports. I got you. We're going to give you whatever it takes for you to focus on that, right? Keeping you in faith, being able to see a father figure and a non-broken home, not to put it that way, but it's the truth, right? And seeing how that actually worked and how that helped grow your aspirations. Being at Under Armour, seeing a guy who doesn't really know you, but is telling you, hey, let's work on you being fearless, right? You applying that same mentality you learned from sports, saying, I'm all in, right? I know my role and I'm going to be fearless. And you've gotten all the way here. Do you have any advice other than everything you just said? Because it's like, for anyone watching, this is incredible. Any advice that you could give to a young man or young woman watching?
The first thing I'll say is believe in yourself. Like I said earlier, I've been giving advice this whole episode, but more so, more so to even just go a little bit further, you gotta believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. You know what I mean? It sounds so cliche, but it's the truth. It's the reality.
It's the most important.
You know what I mean? It's like the most important thing. If you don't believe it will happen, nobody else is gonna believe it. You know what I mean? And in sales, you gotta think about it. Being in sales, it teaches you to believe in yourself because you're gonna hear no so many times before you hear that yes.
Yeah.
Right? In sales, you're selling yourself in a sense to that person to get whatever product or service to get that transaction. People are buying into you. You know what I mean? Most times, they don't buy into the product. We all buy off emotion. Think about when you're scrolling. Anything that you've ever bought on Amazon, anything that you've ever purchased, that was bought off an emotion. How it would make you feel in any way, whether it's the clippers that you want. You guys are barbers. Think about you scrolling, the clippers that you have. You looked at that clipper. Why did you buy that clipper?
That's true. I buy stuff that I don't even need.
But why did you buy it? It triggered that emotion like,
that
whatever commercial you seen about it, I want that. It made you feel inside that you needed it, so you purchased it, right? And the reason behind that, again, we all buy off emotion, right? So it's like, you gotta know that by believing in yourself, the power that comes behind that. Like I said, we're powerful beyond measure, so you wanna make sure that you tap in, you know what I mean? Tap in within and find out what you want out of life and begin to strive. I always tell people, that's my slogan, just keep striving.
I love it.
When you start, you know, I always say, I have a video, I started making, you know, I've been doing content for a while now before before content was even a thing.
That in itself is a job too, we're not even covering. Like, you're constantly making content, good content. You're always putting it out. For those who don't know, man, give your Instagram a shout out, man.
Real Striver. Real Striver on Instagram.
You're always doing incredible content, and like, that's something we talk to all our barbers in here. Hey, we want you guys to create more content. That's our goal this year, right? As a shop, is we want the whole shop be posting 3, 4, 5 times a week and post content. And don't be scared and believe in yourself. So it's true. That in itself is a job.
And you know what comes from that?
It's so hard to post content, bro.
It is.
All the time.
But why it's so important is because it's your brand.
It's your brand.
You know, Kevin Hart said it himself. It's like, you know, you're a brand. You know, it's like when you're a brand, people will take your brand as serious as you take your brand. And it's the same thing in any field. People will take you as serious as you take yourself. Right, so if you're not necessarily posting, it's like even in the tax industry. That's why if you see my business page, as far as within the company, you're gonna see all of our agents, all of the team posting content. Why? Because I'm very big on that. I'm very big on helping them build their own brand within. Because if you wanna succeed, people gotta know what you do. Secret agents don't make money, right? So it's like, you gotta know that people will only take you as serious as you take yourself, but at the same time, depending on the industry you're in, in every industry you're in, your brand is everything. So you have to get out there. You got to connect personally. How do you do that? Your voice and your face. Let people see your voice. Let people see your face and let people hear your voice. That's how people connect with you on a personal level. You know what I mean? So with content, it's huge. You know, it's right now, it's the biggest thing right now. Content creation is like the new wave right now. And it's amazing to see the evolution of it, because I was, you know, one of the first ones, I would say, like really creating content when it comes to taxes and things like that. So that's why now you see where my content, every year my content, I've always focused on elevating my content to the next level. So now I feel like I'm at the you know, that iceberg, or the tip of the iceberg of my content game. But now I'm trying to, since I've reached there, I'm like, okay, I want my people, like my team, to have that brand within as well, so that when people see them, they're like, yo, like I see your content. Like literally, I had one of my agents tell me the other day, he's like, yo, look at this message. And there's somebody telling him like, yo, the way you're posting content this year, like it's like, oh, I'm gonna send people your way. And look what comes from that, comes from the brand. So there's a reason you're telling your buyers, hey, look, we want you to post 3 or 5 times. That's how you get more people in the door. Yeah. People gotta know what you do.
It's
you know
sales
what I mean?
too, yeah.
And but again, even barber, it's technically still sales, because you're
It's
selling
sales.
your skill set, you're skilling yourself
well.
to get a client.
Yeah,
you know
you
what
only
I mean?
get paid
So-
depending on every sale you make. That's how it
Exactly.
works.
So it's the same thing in any industry. It's just, again, how you look at it. You know what I mean? So I think that's really where it comes from. Just believe in yourself, staying true to yourself too. You know, trying the hardest to not get lost in the sauce, as they say. You know, because it's hard to not get lost in the sauce when you start seeing when success actually comes. That's
hard, bro.
It's hard.
Sometimes
It's
struggle
hard,
with it, I ain't gonna lie.
but that's where the whole, you know, just living in faith, you know, comes in. Knowing that at the end of the day, we're all equal. You know, knowing that no matter what, whether it's materialistic things or not, it's like just having that faith within. That's where you at. You know, it's like, yo, you're always smiling. You're always, you know, so energetic. Like you said, whether you're going through it or not, I'm not necessarily going to show it to the public, not because I'm perfect and I'm acting like I live a perfect life, but more so I just don't want to discourage people. If I'm building my brand as far as, hey, I'm striving, keep striving, you know.
I was just gonna say that again, like, let's just keep adding to the striver part, bro, because it's a great way to it's like you're constantly inspiring people, whether you know it or you don't. And I know you do, but it's like, for those who don't know, you're always being inspirational in your posts. You're always constantly helping someone grow. So it's like, that's something too that outside looking in is like, we have to do better for each other. We have to try the ones that aren't, at least, we have to try to continue to inspire each other, bro, as humans. And I feel like something you do, you're really good at doing.
I appreciate it, bro. You know what's crazy about that? That, you know, like I said, life is life, right? And we all go through it. You know, we all have those moments where we will doubt ourselves. Again, that's where you have to work so hard within and be in control of your mind. Do the best that you can to be in control of your mind, because if you don't, your mind could trick you and, you know, into doing other things, right? And doubting yourself, right? Yeah. So I'm not gonna paint this picture like how you said, like, even though I've been inspiring and people know me as far as, you know, just striving, you know, to be great and everything like that, it's never going to be a situation where I'm going to paint this picture like life is perfect. Nah, it's not. But it's just, again, just being able to know that within, as long as you believe in yourself and you keep that faith, I mean, anything is possible, bro, when you believe in yourself. Yes, and knowing that even having people just reach out to me as of recently, when I feel like I've recently just tapped back into my purpose. You know, we talk about this episode and just about the podcast overall, it's about purpose. And I feel like for a while, I kind of lost my purpose because of life. Yeah. But you got to know that it's okay. So when you ask me what type of advice do I have for the younger generation, it's like, hey, look, man, it's okay if things don't happen on your time. That's where I feel like I lost my purpose, where I wanted things and I wanted to be successful so bad. I wanted to get to a certain level, you know, financially so bad, where it's like when it didn't happen, you know, I did lose a little bit of, you know, not faith, but just as far as belief within when it came to certain things, right? Yeah. Even as far as like with YouTube, right? But you go on a YouTube channel that I have 10 years ago, I was on YouTube making videos. I didn't even know what YouTube was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But look what God did. God just put me with one of the biggest YouTubers in the industry right now, one of the littest family, literally the littest family on YouTube, to show me, look what would have been possible for you if you would have never gave up.
Still possible.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah,
all day,
showing you the
all
journey.
day. But I'm talking about from the moment, from when I started, just to show me like. So now it's like, look, it's still possible. I bet. So start.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, the biggest slogan is what? You don't gotta be great to start. You gotta what? Start to be great, right? So it's like, it's still possible. I bet. Let's go. That's my next venture right now. And it's crazy because being around one of the biggest YouTubers, he even encourages me like, yo, strive. Like, what do you? Everything you posting on Instagram, posted on YouTube, that's a whole nother platform. Like, you got to get to it. You know what I mean? But it's like what we said, content is a full-time job. So at the time, I didn't really want to start because I wasn't ready for the job. Now I'm ready because I feel like I'm tapped back into that purpose. So because I feel like I'm tapped back into that purpose, it goes back to the younger generation, right? And giving them advice. Tap into your purpose. Whatever your purpose is. You know what I mean? It's the intention behind whatever it is that you're doing. You know, it's like you gotta move with intentions, and a lot of people are going nowhere fast because they don't have intentions behind whatever it is that they're doing. You gotta have intention. Like, you have to do things with intention. If not, what is it that you're doing it for? Even right now with this podcast, like, what is it that you guys are doing this for? For the purpose of what? To inspire the younger generation, to inspire just anybody that's watching, to see what's possible, all the things that we're even talking about. You know what I mean? So it's like, I definitely wanted to say that. Like, just, that's the main thing as far as advice-wise, is going back to what you guys represent, purpose. You know what I mean? Tap into that purpose, tap into that power within. You don't know what's possible.
Yeah, man.
You don't know what's possible, but if you believe in yourself, you go in, you keep you keep that faith in God and just go all in what you're doing. I'm telling you, one day you're gonna pop. I'm telling you, all it takes is what? One song in the industry. Look at Jello. Just signed a $13 million contract. $8 million guaranteed of one song, you know? And it's the same thing with the video. All it takes is one video. All it takes is one client. Even you, like I said, when we connected and we like, then we had that moment where we're like, you know me, I know you. Look at that. Look how that happened. Like, you landed that one big client.
Now you're on the show.
And then now look, now everybody want to do business with you.
When you came in to get a cut after that, you left, and he was like, "Oh, that's Trevor?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "We should get him on the show." I was like,
As soon as you left, I was like, hey.
I was like,
call him.
For sure, that's the first thing I thought, of course.
Yeah.
But for the fact that he knew who you were kind of surprised me.
I told you, I was like,
Yeah, that didn't surprise me that he knew
I was like,
who
you're
you
a
were.
striver, bro. I was like, talk, nigga, you turn.
It was just like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to ask people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just like,
It's the fear too, though.
You busy, bro.
I was gonna say, for me, a lot of times it's the fear of rejection.
Yeah.
But we're getting better at it. You know what I'm saying? And life, that's like I said, life's a journey.
Well,
You said life's a journey.
I will say, I don't think I knew you wouldn't reject me in a sense. I knew like
Just know that they're busy.
You're very
though.
humble, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's one
yeah,
thing.
for
Like,
sure.
I know we need to wrap this up, man. And one thing I always do is give flowers. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you one humble dude, bro. Like,
I appreciate
since
it, bro.
I didn't even like dap you up, I knew from back then when I used to see you out or whatever I used to see you. Always a good dude, bro. I've never heard anything bad about you, bro. And honestly, what you're doing, bro, is great. I'm so proud of you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it since you was making videos on a phone you probably wasn't supposed to record on. I remember those videos, you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Seriously, bro.
But
Keep
it's
doing
like,
it.
and I appreciate that, bro, for real, because, that's what you work for. And at the end of the day, not only for yourself, but to even just get flowers from people, that's always great. I'm going to give it right back. You know what I mean? But for you to even say you used to watch my videos and we wasn't even tapped in, that's why I say, bro, people are watching, bro. Even though they might not personally tell you or might not engage with your post, bro, people are watching, bro.
They're watching,
you know what I'm
that's a
saying? So
fact.
that's why you just got to keep going, man. You got to keep going. You got to believe in yourself and just post, man. Whatever it is that you want to do, just post. And don't worry about it, because when you start showing results, the same people that were watching and not supporting publicly will now start to support, and we'll start acting like they've been supporting the whole time. So definitely want to give it back to y'all and what y'all doing, because at the end of the day, you've been building your brand for a while, for a long time. You know what I mean? So it's like, look where you're at now, you know? And shout out to Adrian too, because he connected us, you know what I mean? So it's like, we wouldn't even be here in this situation if it wasn't for him. So definitely big shout out to Adrian, because look, now we're here, we're connected, and I can't wait to see where we take this, man, for real.
And big shout out to everybody watching, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Thank you, bro.
I will say, this is definitely up there in one of my favorite episodes. I don't want to say my favorite, because then I'm going to shit on some people. I don't wanna do that. I'll never say it's my favorite.
Love.
Maybe when the camera off.
That's high.
But I will say also, you're very hard to have on the podcast, because every time I have a question, And he answered it. Next. And he answered it. Next.
That's-
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Even when
that's
it's
good.
Purpose, I'm like, yeah, it's amazing, bro. I want you
Yeah.
to just keep going. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, bro, this is an amazing episode, bro. Appreciate
for
it.
sure.
We
bro.
thank
I
you so
appreciate
much,
you.
man, for real.
No.
Appreciate you, bro. For real. I appreciate y'all.
Good luck
for
this
real.
tax season.
Yes, sir. It's
Just
tax
tap
season.
in.
Yo, hey, any
Let
shout outs?
them know,
Go ahead,
bro.
drop the shout outs real quick.
Listen,
The
hey,
tax office,
listen,
ain't
man,
the
it's tax
Instagram.
season. The IRS is officially open January 27th. They're gonna start accepting and processing returns. So you already know, One Stop Consulting. We're authorized to e-file in all 50 states. We have a team full of agents that are ready to assist you and help you with your situation. Shout out the team, you know what I mean? Without y'all, I'm nothing, you know what I mean? Shout out JP, shout out Romello, shout out Marco, shout out my whole team, man. I got so many people I can shout out, but they know who they are, you know what I mean? But they're for sure. And I appreciate y'all. Shout out y'all. For real, for having me on board.
No, we know we wicked. Dancing, dancing, wicked.